In our School Matters series, we're looking at the effort to keep students from dropping out because of the pandemic nationwide. It's estimated about 3 million students are unaccounted for, and the experts fear that that could have long-term consequences for their education. We visited Sunset High School, that's in Dallas, which is an area that is hard hit by this pandemic. Educators in the districts are trying to track down more than 9,000 high school students, 9,000, who stopped attending classes there. Mireya Villareal shows us one student's struggle to just stay on track.
I love going to school just for the interactions and getting along with everyone else. But something about teaching was just so different and something very unique that I was like, I might as well give it a shot.
So you want to be a teacher?
Yes.
Before the pandemic, Luis Borja enrolled in Sunset High School to take advantage of their college credit program. But in the midst of COVID, before his senior year, Luis decided to start working.
Did you want to help out your family?
I wanted to. And they said, you don't have to do it, but I was like, there's bills that need to be paid, but I also want to learn how to take responsibility, and be independent.
But balancing work and online summer classes caused Luis to fall behind with his schoolwork, and he was placed on academic dismissal.
I felt like my world came crashing down that day because it was 4 years, of work.
We just continued to encounter different types of problems that we really weren't prepared for.
Principal Claudia Vega has been working with students, including Luis, to get them back on track and back in school.
We're missing anywhere from 15 to 20%, and the failure rate is 15 to 20%, and we've got to find a way to bring them back. We've got to.
Enrollment sits at 2,100 students, but today, even though the school has been fully open for in-person learning since the fall, just 279 kids have shown up. We tagged along with Dallas ISD administrators as they searched for high school students that had disappeared during the pandemic. More than 9,000 total, including more than 1,500 seniors.
The reason we're going and making these visits is to let them know that we understand and that we have programs in place to help them.
Across the country, it's estimated that schools have lost contact with more than 3 million students during the pandemic.
Unfortunately, none of at the 5 houses, we were not able to make any contact. We're going to get these kids back in school. At some point, we're getting them back in school.
That same grit is what created a new norm at Sunset High School.
I think that we've learned a lot in this past year and a half. We've learned to be flexible. We've learned that kids like to have more choices.
One of those choices includes online learning during the day, but also offering a homework hub from 5 to 7 at night that's staffed with rotating teachers.
Our education system hasn't changed in generations, right? Decades. And so our teachers had always kind of said, let's do something different, let's try. And then we were forced into this opportunity where we just had to.
How do you call it an opportunity?
Oh my goodness.
What is it that makes you so emotional about this?
We've had, give me 1 second.
Of course.
Sorry. We've had employees hospitalized. We've had students hospitalized. Our students have suffered. They've struggled. They've lost parents. They've lost siblings. We had a family that lost 4 members in their immediate family. And students in 10th grade, and we're trying to convince them to stay in school.
How do you do that?
Every way possible.
And Principal Vega's persistence paid off. Luis is now back on track, set to graduate with a high school and associate's degree this May.
Would you say maybe the pandemic forced you to become a better student?
Yes. It made me become a student that I never realized I could be. I knew I always could be independent, but I didn't know what motivation I needed, what needed to light me up to do it, Overall, yes, it shaped me up into a whole different person, but I'd say not in a negative way, in a better way.
For CBS This Morning, Mireya Villareal, Dallas.
Oh boy, I hope other kids make the same choice to go back.
Yeah.
Stakes are so high.
It's been such a tough year for everybody.
For everybody.
For the kids, for the teachers,
all
for the
levels.
schools, yeah.